Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai with the Scramble for the Far East mod. Last time around, there was winter and war with the Americans. Both are now gone. As, well, winter, of course, by the season they disappear, they come and go. But the war with the Americans ended because, well, the Americans had suffered quite a bit at our hands, and they were ready for a ceasefire. Just before the ceasefire, though, I was able to slip one army across the frozen lands and were able to siege out this castle. Well, not siege it out. I charged it and took it. And it is currently under control and is providing us with a steel mill, which is wonderful. However, with that war comes another, which is the Prussians. The Prussians have marched one army into here. They have another one which is marching over here, and they have one coming down from the north over here. The Prussians are concerning because I haven't fought them yet, and I imagine they're gonna pack quite a punch. But the real concern is all the assassins and enemy agents which have infiltrated our territory, and they're very high level. And they're very keen on trying to assassinate and sort of get my generals to defect. Since I don't have many generals, I don't want that to happen, and I definitely don't want them to assassinate my faction leader. It's happened already once before. In between episodes, I was able to just load a save and fix that and try to work around him getting assassinated. But there's too many enemy agents now, so at this point I kind of have to kind of, you know, imagine that I'm not gonna be able to save all my generals. Quite a few of them are gonna be assassinated, so we're gonna have to start thinking around the fact that our troops won't have like proper generals. So it will be very important that we sprinkle out, we recruit a lot of elite units to sprinkle in with the armies, because they will provide morale for the lower tier troops. Otherwise the enemy will run us over. With that said, what we're gonna start with today is dealing with the Prussians, of course. So this fight right here is the first one. And then possibly we have this one as second. My fleet has just arrived here. I'm hoping to actually take the faction heir and general and bring them back to safety in the capital. And then hopefully also, as we march through here, we'll capture the Prussian capital and deny them the ability to recruit proper Prussian troops. So yeah, there's not much for it. Let's march on the Prussians and defeat them. So I think the problem here is that the I don't know the stats of the Prussians, but I imagine it's quite high, especially for the Hanoverian guards. Even though, I mean, they do outnumber us, so I can understand the strength ratio here. But I do have advantage in cavalry and cannon, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that throughout the battle. And we'll figure out to use that to our advantage and try to minimize the casualties on the infantry by avoiding like a straightforward fight. With that said, let's go ahead and defeat the Prussians. And here is our battlefield. Is mostly flat, as you can see. There's one major hill over on the left side, and then we kind of have this kind of not really a valley, a crevasse going through the center here, where we got difficult terrain, which troops could advance with some cover. So they could definitely advance through here if they want to get in my cannons. I'm hoping though to avoid the fight coming around my cannons, as I'm hoping to be able to fire them for quite a long time, and in so increasing my advantage. And I am going to do that by quickly moving most of my infantry to take the hill and set up in the forest. A lot of the bullets will be catched or caught by trees and so on, so the sort of fighting between us and the Prussians will take longer, in which case I can continue to bombard them during the time. We have one captured American 6-pounder, which I will roll up to very close distance because I don't care about them, or the cannon, it's not very useful. So I'm gonna roll that up very close and fire canister on the enemy. And also the cavalry will be moved out in a far wide angle, as I'm hoping the fight's gonna take place here. They could come in and attack from the back. And before we go ahead and start, let's toggle guard mode to make sure that everyone stands and fires and do not engage in melee. The enemy has quite a bit of grenadiers. I'm gonna charge through here. Nice, cannons start firing already. We're gonna advance our troops and set the artillery guards, get the Cossacks up behind there. Looks like the Prussians are answering us by marching troops quickly towards the forest, which is great. Let's hope it keeps that way. They're not yet within range of the mortar. It's a very high hill, isn't it? The cannons will get into position first before my units. Do they? Yeah, they will actually range all the way to the Prussians. We can actually move these guys closer then. And I think we should fan these guys out into line now. Something like that. With these, trying something like that with the general on top to support. Canister now being blasted against the Prussians. It's at extreme range though, in terms of for the canister. And then I have my cannons blasting, and my mortar should start firing. One key unit to target would be the enemy general. Given that the enemy assassinate so many of my officers and generals, I feel no shame in specifically targeting their general. Nice, this one's already breaking. It shattered. Got hit way too harder in the beginning and didn't get to respond.
Sir, I fear your general is in mortal peril, sir.
Might have put him a little bit more on the back slope of the hill. Remember to keep switching back to canister. Right now it looks very good in terms of how we're doing with the Prussians. So we've got quite a bit of units shattering under the pressure of our fire.
The enemy has hidden units, sir.
Yeah, I know, they're in the forest. We are also in the forest. They are sending quite a bit of units out here. Let's move the cavalry closer. Oh, they are advancing quite close to us in the forest here. Let's maximize our firepower by kneel fire.
The damned enemy has damned ambushed you, sir!
I would highly doubt that statement. I want to fire here because I can see a lot of these are not too happy with their situation. Damn, just with that little fire, the Prussians are already getting this unit to waver. Oh, looks like we have some melee going on in the forest. Oh, they're lining up to shoot my Cossacks. No! Oh, they're coming on hard here in the center. But it's not going too well for them. Are they wanting to charge my Cossacks? Or go ahead and chase them, I mean? I'm gonna go ahead and continuously just ride them down over here. What's going on here in the forest? You know what? I could sit here and just fire, but I think I'm gonna counter-charge over here. And I think that might shock the enemy into submission. Hit the units that are retreating. I don't want to fight these guys again. Hold your fire. I think it's time for the artillery to hold fire. All along the line, in fact. My charge didn't really work. I was hoping that I would break them in one quick attack here. That did not happen. So we're gonna the rest of the units are gonna stand and fire. I'm gonna turn up
over the enemy.
The flank. Oh, now they broke. Now they broke. It went better than expected. But it was all because of my cunning plan, I'd say. More so than the ability of my troops. I think if we face the Prussians in an open fight, on open ground, it would definitely turn out different. I don't think the Prussians were able to fire that much at us. Mostly they were marching straight onto us. You can see here where it was a little less, or the forest was quite light. We actually suffered quite heavy casualties here. And quite a few where the enemy, once the enemy opened fire, like here. Quite a lot of our troops died. But the important part is we won the battle. But winning the battle is one thing. Trying to avoid all the enemy assassins is a completely different thing. And that is most likely going to cost me so many more generals and stuff. And going to be such a... going to be so much more of a headache than winning battles through strategies like these. Here's the result of the battle, and currently I'm not entirely sure what I was too worried about with the Prussians looking at these numbers. The Prussians deployed 3,200 men, and they lost 2,800 exactly, leaving only about 500 of them left, compared to me, which deployed 2,600 and only lost about 400 men, leaving 2,300 roughly. Highest killer is Don Cossack, but they of course rode down the enemy. Other than that, not much to tell. Cannons do really poorly, I must say. In this case, my two field cannons both killed 17. But I guess because of the deployment and the fact that the battle wasn't able to rage for that long, they weren't able to do that much damage. But I've noticed that, I mean, the cannon shots don't really bounce in, they explode upon the units. And when they explode, they don't do that much damage. Like, they can explode on a single person and just kill that one guy. So I'm not entirely sure how useful they are. The two reserve units did of course nothing, and so on. Very good. Oh, and we even got a battle marker for that. 1866 victory over Prussia. Problem here is of course I could pursue them, but I'd rather try to hide from the assassins. I'm just gonna go hide in the forest, which I hope is a pretty useful strategy. The thing is, I don't know, the faction leader definitely needs to be evacuated. There's no question about that. But in terms of the other generals, they'll stay. And the faction... I think the faction heir needs to be retreated as well, because if he dies, I think all of his heirs, or all these children, will disappear. Not that it's very likely that I will actually ever get them as playable characters, given that they would have to play another 200 turns for just the first one to come of age. I mean, if I knew the assassins were going to be this, like, persistence and whatever, and currently since I'm fighting two factions, they outnumber me in terms of assassins and stuff. If I knew this, I would have probably... What you should do and what you should think about, or if you're playing on this difficulty level, is probably to have, as soon as you can get, have the amount of assassin embedded in the army to protect your generals. Like, have your characters set up to... Normally I neglect those characteristics to protect the character from getting killed, and I rather go for something that would go for you know, increasing morale of troops or the ability of troops and so on. But clearly you should not neglect that. A lot of the reason why not any general at this point have died due to assassins is mostly because when they do get assassinated, it is in between episodes, and I usually kind of load saves and I look at the situation, and then I figure out a way to kind of twist it so I can save them. But I'm not entirely sure for how much longer I can do that. There's so many assassins, there's so many enemy characters all over the place, and my characters just simply can't compare. With that, we should end turn and see what the enemy comes up with. I'm hoping these guys march into my trap. Otherwise, we'll figure out how to advance towards, I believe this is Fukushima, yes? So we'll advance on Fukushima with all might, and then go for Niigata and take that, and take over the main Prussian province. With that said, we should end turn, and yeah. Let's just take a second to look at this. First of all, someone's killed in single combat. That's inconceivable. Not so much inconceivable, but it's definitely disheartening. And then enemy assassins detected. We've got 5. Assassin detected. Our assassins are detected. That's not as much. Building sabotaged. Ooh! 3 units assassinated. Our province bombarded. And I imagine we're bombarded where we don't want. Yeah, we're only making 3,000 because our main port is being bombarded. Okay, so who has fallen? Someone here. Yeah, the central province has been bombarded. Someone's been assassinated. Someone's been assassinated, and assassinated, detected, and so on. God. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So I lost the general over here. He got assassinated. And then the what's it called? The sergeant or whatever got assassinated out of this army. And then there was someone down here. Oh no, this general. No, Boris. I liked Boris. Okay, Boris was assassinated. Oof. There's nothing much I can do about this because at this point it's kind of inevitable. Someone gained a trait, but I guess the guy who gained the trait died, so that's great. I wonder if there's any technologies would help me with deal with all of these spies. Is it yeah, it's Anthony, of course. And he killed this general, which means the replenishment goes to shit. And I don't gain any more generals. God damn it. How much of a 29% chance? Let's just both embed these guys in this army to protect him. And then we'll move north. So I've lost then, let's take a look. I've lost 2 generals then. And that affects my economy as well, because it was 2 2-star generals, I believe, if not a 3-star for one. And I'd set them up as these major general and so on, which would have increased like repression in regions and stuff like that. Maybe I should, you know what? Maybe I should just evacuate all generals, because eventually they'll all get assassinated. This is a disaster zone right now. I don't think my faction... I don't think anyone will be able to leave though, but we can try. Let's go ahead and end these guys. That pisses me off though. 2 generals. Maybe I will get new ones, but the thing is, I get so far away from the main like fighting area right now. It's gonna take forever just to get them on ships over here. Why is this taking so long? When literally no one died on my side. And the problem with this is, of course, when they're on march on campaign, without a general, they don't get replenished, so the armies are vulnerable, very vulnerable, while that's going on. We should definitely try to assassinate. 39%. What did this guy have? 43. Maybe I should set them up in towns. Maybe that protects them better if they're in town, and it will kind of increase the chance of the enemy assassin getting taken out. 65%. It'll gain him some experience. Great. She's assassinated. Not that she was doing much. She wasn't much of a problem for me. I'm really hoping I can get this assassin here. Failed. Can I recruit her? Oh, well, all of this is burnt down, so I won't be able to gain anything here. Maximum. I need to increase that. Only 3 assassins. Something. Definitely assassination. Let's see. Can I get? I don't have the money for that. It looks like. For any of these. Oh, this one. But it's only 34% chance. Entertain the populace instead. Right. This is definitely not going great with everyone getting assassinated. The enemy backed off here. The thing is, I need to get my faction leader out of here, so he needs to march across. So let's march on Fukushima, even though it's dangerous. Get this fleet closer. We'll go ahead and raid outside, and then hopefully once he takes that, all the armies should pool and march with the faction leader. And we'll get out to the north. We'll try to figure something out. Not much more can be done here. Let's go ahead and end turn. Army sabotaged. Army distracted. Someone else was assassinated. Our army was harassed. And mission successful. Our assassin was detected. Building sabotaged. And so on. Technology research. Who died? Ooh. Assassin is follow. No, he did not assassinate. He just stopped the army dead in its tracks. Damn. And did they try to take someone else out? I'm not sure. Go down here. Oh, they're dealing damage to the infrastructure in this region. No matter though, we're gonna keep on marching. I think I should do that with my general as well. Which of these? This assassin can't reach. This one can, so he'll support the general, and the other one will follow to try and assassinate this guy. Then all the geishas I had in the region are now gone. They've all been assassinated. Because the hotel is on fire and it'll cost me 20,000 to repair it. That won't come back anytime soon. So they're just having a field day destroying everything. Right, let's just make sure. How many? Yeah, it's still only those two generals. So I haven't lost anyone more. Any more troops. We've got more conscripts. Hitachi built a new school, military doctrine school, which will increase the ability of the troops recruited there, which is nice. Path blocked. Yeah. Thing is, I need to deal with... I was hoping to move this lady over, but let's move her on an ironclad, because otherwise there's a risk of her dying. We're gonna send her to land near where we're gonna pick up the faction leader. I was placing these to protect the navies or the ports everywhere, but I think that we should pool all these protective naval ships at the capital to protect the main port, because it's getting under attack. Currently, I'm just gonna keep it as it is, and we're gonna wait for the reinforcement before we try to strike. I definitely don't want to attack here just yet, but that would probably take out quite a bit of money from the enemy. I don't know, do I have time for another battle? Possibly. Or I could end off like on a cliffhanger for when the next battle is, and keep you guys updated as my generals one by one get assassinated. Let's do this. Let's not come back until I've actually moved all the way to Fukushima, and then I can end it right there, and I can tell you who's alive and who's not. And so, we've come to the end. I'm choosing to end it here, not the campaign, but end the video right here. And I'm gonna end on some pretty sad news. All of them died. So this is what the faction tree looks like right now. I have 2 generals left. The only reason why those 2 guys are left is because this one was recruited like 1 turn ago, and this guy's been sitting in the capital forever. Otherwise, they got all assassinated. So I think this is not the faction leader's wife, but the faction leader's heir's wife. Because, or I'm not sure, it says brothers here, so, but yeah, it's gonna take about little less than 200 turns, but something around that before we get Kamarov Victor to become faction leader. Until then, his mother is going to be stand-in, and we're gonna have to fight our battles here without generals, just like the AI, which is gonna change a few things. There's quite a lot of Prussians here at their capital as well, so it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to punch through there. We're gonna be able to take Fukushima though, but I don't think we're gonna be able to punch through and take the capital. Also, we've got enemy navy closing in here, so it looks like there might be a naval battle just outside the port. I'll probably have to sink that one. At the same time, I have consolidated the naval force up here, but then the little force here has actually got reinforcements. So we've got a big Prussian navy coming in that we're gonna have to sink. So that'll be, next episode will probably be quite a bit of naval battle, where we'll have one battle here and one battle here. I mean, if I can avoid, I don't want to fight this one, but I definitely have to fight the one up in my capital. And then we'll figure out, hopefully I might be able to take Fukushima before the Prussians come to reinforce it. And then we'll have a battle outside. It's going to be interesting though, because without generalship, we're going to have to be careful where we move our troops and station elite units close to clusters of infantry to make sure that they hold. It's going to be a very different thing without the morale boost of a general. Originally I had planned for some of these generals to go north, these armies to go north, but now we're gonna have to send them all down here. Also, they've been harassed quite a bit. No replenishment to be gained in enemy territory, but even they're gonna have to stationed in town to get replenished, so hopefully we can keep the territory we have, but it could be hard to even hold on to this. And here, yeah, here's the last general that got assassinated. It's also moving north. It was kind of when I kind of realized the faction leader was gonna go, was he had marched, I think, around here, and there were three Prussian assassins all around him, and there were American, and like there was a whole train of like characters just trailing after my faction leader. In hindsight, of course, I think the best thing would have not to send him at all into territory here, but I did not realize that we're going to be so relentless in trying to assassinate him, sending all their characters after us. But that's how it goes, and we're gonna have to figure out how to live in this new world without generals. With that said, I'm gonna end it right here, and hopefully you still enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!
Your general is under attack! The damned enemy has damned ambushed you, sir!